guys, Marsengan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today we are going to do the 55% showcase for the new Piccolo Jr. We actually do have him on the first turn, so that's why I paused a little bit. Now we can see the intro animation.
I am Demon King Piccolo reborn.
There's just something funny about the Shadow Dragon guy. Just he's just hovering there menacingly. Alright, so Piccolo, another unit that has, much like the Goku, has a full essay for a passive. Shares a couple of links with Turles, which is pretty good. Turles, good support unit. Obviously, we do need to get more super, like, difficult events with super class enemies for Turles to really be considered like a top tier pick. But I'm going to keep him around a bit for the support. Now, one thing to bear in mind, of course, when it comes to the fact these guys obviously freshly pulled, freshly awakened, 55%. So, big bad bosses not being link leveled means that we're obviously not going to get it active unless we drop below the HP threshold. Now, that can happen mid-turn. So, what is it at level 1? Is it 80? I forget, it's been so long. Is it 80%? Yeah, so if Turles gets smacked in the first slot, we actually could have it activate mid-turn. So we're starting off at 182k defense. His leader skill, Gifted Warriors, Terrifying Conquerors, or Giant Form, 170 with the additional 30 to Battle of Fate or World Tournament. Now, it's interesting that he's got those three categories for the 170 because it's quite a wide mix, but there's very few units that actually get his full 200%, which is unfortunate, or at least few good units, right? And then we have, of course, another essay passive, so it's easier to read on the Dokkan wiki because they break it down into bullet points. So we've got the entrance animation. He has a high chance of launching an additional super for one turn. Then we have key 2 and attack and defense 101% for 5 turns. Key 3, attack and defense 150 as the base, so obviously just like Goku, he gets both of those buffs for the first 5 turns. Additional attack and defense 20% with each super attack performed, up to 100%. Attacks effective against all types when facing one enemy. Medium chance of launching an additional super. Then we get an additional attack and defense 60% within the same turn after receiving an attack, plus an additional attack and defense 100% and all enemies attack and defense minus 30% as the first attacker in the turn. He then gets an additional attack and defense 100% when performing a super, and high chance of launching an additional super if he's the second or third attacker in the turn. So if there's no attacks in slot 1, he's actually going to get the extra 100% attack and defense buff regardless of which slot he's in, which is useful. But in slot 2 or 3, he gets that chance to do an additional super. So on turns like this, where there's no attack in slot 1, it is actually better for him to be in slot 2. Because he's still getting the same stat buff, but he's now also going to have the chance to do an additional super, which obviously is very useful. So we're not going to get that extra 100% until he gets locked in, because we don't have a super enemy. We're not getting defense from Turles. So he is still going up to, what, like nearly 400k, just over 350, I guess. But then with the super attacks, he's building up 20% with each one performed, up to 5 times. And his super attack effect is... where has it gone? Raise attack and defense 1 turn. Does immense damage, high chance to stun. So the more supers he gets, the higher and higher his defense is going to get. So let's see what we can get from him here on the first turn. Obviously we want to get at least 1 turn where we can get attacked in slot 1 and see what he looks like post attack buff. But this will be a pretty good one to see on his first turn here. Double super from Turles keeps him a bit protected here. Yeah, double digits. And then 6.37. So straight away, comparing him to the Goku, we can obviously see that his attack potential, especially early on, is way higher. We did not get the additional though. So that's the only unfortunate thing. He has medium chance to launch an additional as part of his passive. And then in slot 2, he has the high chance of launching an additional super. But both of those are just chance to do a super. They're not the much better version, which is a guaranteed normal attack that has a chance to convert into a super. So, oh, we have big bad bosses active here now. So if I don't pick up same type orbs, let's make sure we don't go above 80% HP. And then, yeah, so we've got support from this Piccolo. Actually, wait. I just thought I brought this Piccolo because of his Namekian links, but I've just realised he only supports superclass allies. So he's actually not providing any support. But, you know, we could get some extra links active with him at some point, so I guess it's fine. But we're getting the support from Garlic Jr., and we do have Big Bad Bosses active. So straight away, you can see now the huge difference. He's now at 254k. So he's going to get hit in slot 1 and get 60% extra attack and defense, which I don't think that factors in support, but that's still going to be around about 100k. Then he's getting the 100% when he attacks as well. So that's pretty good. So I think when I look at those two later parts of his passive about whether he's in slot 1 or slot 2 or 3, slot 1 he obviously gets a bigger stat buff, but then slot 2 you're getting the extra chance to super. So early on, where you're obviously trying to build up, you want him to super attack 5 times as early as possible. 7.8 on the second one. So you can get that full build up, right? Because unfortunately we got bad RNG with the first Piccolo. Even in slot 2 with that extra chance to super, he didn't do an additional super. Now this will be interesting because remember, he doesn't have any way of guarding or anything. So if we were to put him in slot 1 here, that could definitely be awkward. I think what we'll do is we will leave him in slot 2 just because then he does get that extra chance to super, and this Piccolo is kind of lagging behind, right? He's only super attacked once, which means he still has a potential extra 80% attack and defense that he can get from super attacking 4 more times. So by putting him in slot 2 here, we get the extra chance to super. Plus, we get to super attack first before being hit by type disadvantage, and we are raising defense on our super attack effect. So, obviously, this Piccolo could actually go nuts, right? Like in slot 2 or 3, and especially if you've got dupes or skill orbs, so he actually has additional in the hidden potential system. He can super attack 4 times in 1 turn, and each one of those is raising his attack and defense for 1 turn. And then, obviously, while you're still building up, each one of those is giving you another 20% buff on your passive. So definitely very, very good. It's just one of those things, just like the Goku. Of course Turles has to eat the super. Does he live this? Yeah, okay, good. Fortunately, the earlier Shadow Dragon's not as hard hitting. So we're going to get the transformation straight away here. So the giant form for Piccolo Jr. The condition for his transformation is HP 60% or less, starting from the 4th turn. So here we are on turn 4. We obviously got blasted by Turles, or on Turles anyway. So, massively raise attack temporarily, destructive damage, and then the passive, he gets 3 key, attacks effective against all types, and high chance to crit. So his giant form definitely has the potential to do some big damage, and getting the 3 key is obviously, I was going to say very useful. Look at that. I thought the reds were going to drop down. So still the downside with giant forms is that you can sometimes miss the attacks. I think additionals will be quite good for this Piccolo for the giant form. But giant form is something that you're not going to see potentially that often, depending on how the events go, right? It's not like LR Piccolo where you can just use it at a certain time as an active skill. There will certainly be times where, especially if you're having a really good run, you just won't see this Piccolo transform. So I wouldn't recommend building his hidden potential around the giant form, right? Because with him having built-in crit and effective against all types, if that was just his base, like part of his base kit, you could argue that he just doesn't need any crit at all and you just give him full additional. But he does have quite a lot of ways to additional super in his base kit. So I think crits for him obviously are going to be very good, especially because this guy is basically the new best world tournament unit, because he also has an active skill that we didn't mention in this video. I obviously talked about it when I did the unit breakdown. But his active skill, the Super Explosive Wave, can be activated when HP is 50% or less starting from the 4th turn, or when facing 2 or more enemies. So obviously World Tournament, straight away turn 1. Massively raises attack temporarily and does mega colossal damage to all enemies, and it action breaks the enemy. So even if you use his AoE in the World Tournament and it doesn't kill them, it action breaks all of them. So you essentially are using like a Ghost Usher. Because in the World Tournament, obviously, each of the enemy characters only attacks once. So, Alright, we'll put him in the middle so we can use the active skill. Because we have Big Bad Bosses active here. What is he at defense-wise now? Yeah, see, he's at 400k. And when he gets locked into whichever slot he's in, he gets 100% extra attack and defense. So, I don't think the friend one is even fully built up, is he? Did he super attack, was it like twice last turn or something? So, let's actually use his active skill just because I want to see. I kind of want to get him fully built up first, but we run the risk of getting a turn where we don't have Big Bad Bosses active, so I'm just going to use it, and we'll see how much damage this does here. Because it does mega colossal damage, which, for a TUR, is pretty good. Animation is so good, so clean. Die! Because I love this, like the black and white explosion effect looks so good. So 5.5 million damage with no crit. Then we get the action break. So, do I want to put him in slot 1? I probably do, right? Because then he's going to get hit first. I probably would rather him have Big Bad Bosses active, I guess. So, we'll avoid the same type orbs again. Because otherwise we might deactivate Big Bad Bosses, which we don't really want to do. Although, how much will I heal if I do this? Probably not, like... Surely not enough to get me over 80%. Demon King Piccolo only has 123k defense, so... Yeah, so we're all good. Big Bad Bosses still active. We get hit in slot 1 to get our buff. I'm sorry, what? Is that 14 million? Okay. Alright, 55% Piccolo, calm down. 16 million on the additional. Alright. So yeah, clearly Piccolo is the offensive unit of the two, and Goku is the defensive beast, at least at the beginning. But once they both get fully built up, whether it's this Piccolo from his passive build-up or Goku after him or someone else has revived, they then become obviously very solid at the other aspect as well, which for Goku is attack and Piccolo is defense. But Piccolo is actually going ham. He's very good. But yeah, there was nothing I could really do there. There was no other way to get 3 orbs for that first attack. It's the one downside to giant forms. Like, the fact they gave him 3 ki is cool, because picking up 3 ki is not usually the hardest thing in the world, but as you can see, we did not get particularly lucky. It's just one of those things. There are so few giant forms or rage modes in the game that are actually good. Because, like, Piccolo, he didn't get a crit on that super. And when you look at, in terms of the HP bar, how much damage we actually did to the enemy, like, even with the crit, we didn't take off a full bar of HP with 2 supers and 1 normal, which is unfortunate, right? Because, especially with this Piccolo, if he's getting up to, like, you know, dropping 14 million attack stats, oh, great. If he's getting up to dropping, like, 14 million attack stats and stuff, I don't want him to turn into a giant. I just want him to be dropping 14 million attack stats. But obviously there is the benefit of the fact that the giant form does have the super delay thing, which I don't know if it's a glitch because they still haven't really addressed it. But if you're not aware what that is at this point still, if the enemy super attacks you while you're in the giant form or the rage mode, when you come out of the giant form, because it freezes the turn counter, like you can see in the bottom corner, we're still technically on turn 5. When we come out of the giant form, we will still be on turn 5. If the boss super attacks us at any point during this giant form, because most bosses can only super attack once, the game then registers that in its like coding or whatever, that the boss has super attacked on turn 5. So then when we come out of the giant form and we're technically still in turn 5, then the game thinks, oh, okay, well, the boss has already supered on turn 5, so he's not going to super again. So you can't get supered. Now, obviously, you have to pay attention, which I haven't been doing because I've been reading, providing commentary, looking at the damage numbers and stuff. I don't actually know if he super attacked at all during that time, but... so what links do we actually get active? Just Fierce Battle, okay, which he has anyway, so great. I bought this Piccolo for no reason because I completely forgot that he only supports super types, so good work, brain. Alright, so let's do this, and then we'll get the super for you. So this is my one at 55%, 365k defense. So remember, in slot 1, when he gets hit, he's going to get 60% on top of that. And we have no support on this rotation, because STR Piccolo doesn't support him. So when he gets hit in slot 1, he's going to be getting like another, what, 170-ish, 180k defense. Then he gets 100% extra from his passive as well. And then he raises attack and defense with each super attack. So depending how many supers he does in this turn, he will have like 1,000,000 defense once he's finished super attacking. Which is actually crazy. Especially when you're then dropping like 8.3 mil. This is with no support. I guess the 14 mil turn for the other Piccolo, we did have Garlic Jr., who's a 40% support. And we did miss the Hidden Potential additional again. So I think my initial thinking after using these guys both at 55%, I feel like Piccolo definitely needs dupes more, because I definitely want to give him some additional, right? Because if you miss that proc from the passive, because it isn't the normal attack that has a chance to become an additional, it doesn't even give you the higher chance to proc your Hidden Potential. So I think additionals for him definitely will be quite good for building up early on. Now, I've seen people already say that you want to go full crit, but that's the reason they say, a reason I've seen people say that, is that they're only really specifically talking about for the active skill for the World Tournament, which I don't know if I would want to build his Hidden Potential solely around using him in the World Tournament, because, I mean, I don't know, like, I guess we'll have to wait until the first World Tournament to see how good he is at 55%, and see if his active skill does actually one-shot the entire enemy team without critting. But I don't know if I would want to build him solely around being good in the World Tournament. I think if you can get additionals early on, because he needs that, like, getting the 20% attack and defense with each super performed 5 times, you want to get that as early as possible, right? If he's only super attacking once every turn, then in some of these harder events, like, his defense is just not going to be as high as we would like it to be when we get closer to the end of the event, right? So you want him to be hitting as many additional supers as possible, which is why using him in slot 2 or 3 obviously could be very beneficial. I wouldn't really say slot 3 though, so slot 2, right? So we've transformed now. I forgot about the fact that we didn't even get to start off with a transformation. Alright, so this is a pretty good rotation now for Piccolo, because we are picking up the Guidance of the Dragon Balls and Incredible Adventure links. And we have big bad bosses. I have to be very careful to not pick up too many orbs with Demon King Piccolo, though. So yeah, I think I'll do this. As long as Nova doesn't super attack in slot 1, we'll be fine. And I need to make sure I don't heal too much, because I don't want to deactivate big bad bosses. So he has 300k defense. Obviously, again, once it's locked in that he's in slot 2, he's going to get 100% extra. He's now in slot 2, which means he gets to super attack first. So even if his start of turn defense, like when you can see it in the menu, doesn't look that crazy, he definitely can be building up. And because he gets a lot of these buffs, like when he's actually attacking, that's where you can see the huge difference that the support makes, right? Because 14 mil, like, we haven't gotten anywhere close to that again a second time. And he did eat a lot of damage from the super. So there certainly are situations where he can look a little bit lacking defensively. And that turn was another perfect example. We had him in slot 2, so he had 2 chances from his passive to do additional supers, and he didn't do an additional super. So that's the reason why I think additionals in his Hidden Potential are definitely going to be very good, because remember, he's raising defense on each of those supers as well. So he's definitely going to benefit quite a lot from those scenarios. This is not ideal. Garlic Jr. probably gets us killed here, but I think this is fine as like the final turn, because this guy, 377 with the support, he's going to get 60% extra when he gets hit. Yeah, he's he is going to be absolutely wiling out on this turn. So just don't get immediately supered, and then we'll be good. Alright, so yeah, 8.5. Crazy. Yeah, so this guy, very, very strong, very good. The active skill going to be very fun to use in events with multiple enemies. I don't normally do that as like a showcase stage, but I'm actually really excited to try this guy out in the Gamma Red Zone, because obviously as soon as you get to the final phase, you can just use his active skill, do some decent damage to both of the Gammas, and then start going ham. Now, the one thing I will say compared to Goku is obviously I shouldn't have brought Piccolo, that's my bad, but this team is weird. Like, his leader skill is, I think, quite mid. It's definitely on the lower tier for the 200% leads, but as a unit himself, obviously he is nuts. But then when it comes to his link partners as well, he's not looking the best, right? Like, his best link partners are 4 link partners, and they are STR Demon King Piccolo, who is mid beyond belief without an easy A at this point. AGL Metal Cooler, who is decent. Is that Great Ape Turles or Transform Turles? There's Great Ape Turles, who needs an easy A. And then AGL Hachan, who himself needs a Kid Goku and isn't on Piccolo's team. And then when you get to 3 links, you have Metal Cooler, who we were using, LR Demon King Piccolo, who we were using, Garlic Jr., who we were using. So, like, some of these units are pretty good. He does share 3 links with TN, Goku, and Krillin. So, obviously, with the newer units, but they're not on his team. So, when it comes to his team, that's where I think he's lacking a little bit. But he definitely is a very strong unit. Let me put a sticker effect on him, actually. I didn't do Goku's one either, but might as well get this in the video at the end. Let's see what his sticker looks like. So he's got a pretty cool aura. Ooh. Okay, yeah, that's actually heat. I like that. Alright, well, let me know what you guys think of Piccolo down below in the comment section. I do think his giant form is kind of mid, but other than that, he's looking very, very good. That 14 mil and then additional 16 mil turn was pretty crazy for a 55% level 1 Lynx unit. Because again, remember, Big Bad Bosses, we managed to get it active a couple of times, but when you've got this guy to level 10 Lynx, like, he is going to be going crazy. Because he has Lynx, where is it? Thirst for Conquest is 15% attack at level 1. At level 10, it's 15% attack and defense, which is a pretty significant buff. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Now that you've seen them both at 55%, because I'm assuming you watched my Goku video, who do you like more? Let me know down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.